Hello, my good students. Welcome back to our Pacific mod campaign as the IJN on War on the Sea. And we have quite a few situations to source out, don't we? In the previous video, the bloody Allies have landed on Iwo Jima, haven't they? And that is now something of a lost cause. They've invaded with such a force that we can't instantly reinforce or reinvade that adequately enough. We do have to wait for more troops and supplies to come in. However, I'm thinking, if it really is currently a lost cause, why not leave it that way? Because then that is one less area for us to worry about and defend in our backline, and we can focus all of our efforts in the backline on Okinawa. We can certainly patrol around Iwo Jima for incoming supplies and such, because they'll be coming from that sort of direction, of course. But it does mean we can focus a little bit more on another base, and I'm thinking really want to send our next income of supplies and such down to the Philippines, where we do need to start taking Cebu and Manila really. Let's go to the strategic map now and visualize that a bit more, shall we? So, what do I mean by just leave Iwo Jima alone? Well, once again, we do have our invasion support task force just sat right on top of it, and that is fairly safe from the island itself. If we go to Iwo Jima, the enemy has bombarded that to the ground. There's no port or airfield there to defend that, and I would love to take the troops and supplies off of there, but there's just nothing really worth taking from there, to be honest. 10 engineering and 10 fuel, not going to go a long way. The 500 supplies, not really going to go a long way either, unfortunately. So we can give that a bit of space. But we will of course keep scouting for any ships, and some ships we do indeed have. We previously spotted a Colorado down here, I believe it was, in the last video there. So that's something of note to think about there. I think that we said that was going to be the goal for today, and we certainly will poke our heads around. We do have Soryu over here with a very nice armament there. In fact, it's fairly fresh. It still needs its maiden bloodletting, and I think a New Mexico, or at least something in that task force, will be very nice for that job, since we are very close to where that was previously spotted, about 300 kilometers away. Very easy indeed. We do have our engineering task force retreating from Okinawa to pick up more supplies. We will be able to upgrade that to a level 2 airfield instantly, so long as we get, it's going to take 3,000 supplies to do that as a minimum, so we want at least 4,000, to be honest, so that we don't completely deplete the supplies on Okinawa, helping the troops out there, I think, and that's absolutely fine. We do have 13,000 supplies at Kure, and you know what, I think that's going to be the job of these invasion supplies to quickly bolster that right now, so that we don't waste any time sat idling by. I did originally want to take this invasion supply force to invade Iwo Jima or reinforce that, but that's not going to happen. What in fact is going to happen is, of course, we're going to reinforce Okinawa, build the airfield up to a level 2 airfield to increase our radar coverage, and of course the planes there, so that can better defend itself in the future and give us some more forewarning about possible invasion task forces, because you can bet, since the enemy has landed on there and not fully succeeded, they will be coming back in the future, and I imagine that'll be the very near future as well. So what we're going to do, like I say, send the invasion task force down there to build that up, and by the time that's done, we should be getting resupplied completely once again on day 112. It's going to be 4 days from now, of course. We're at 108, and at that point we'll have more supplies and such to bring down to Peleliu and to the Philippines over here, where we can bring in more troops and such. But it really is just a question of supply down in the Philippines, because we have 9,500 troops roughly on Del Monte, undersupplied for sure, and we also have about 9,000 troops on Davao as well. So that's a massive invasion task force there, certainly capable of dealing with Cebu. We might go to Puerto Princesa first, before Manila, but the idea of getting that level 5 airfield and 3 ports is amazingly attractive. It's going to be quite the tough ask to take that on without bombarding it, but we can certainly give it a bloody good college try, can't we? We can at least land on there with a shit ton of troops and see how the invasion progress goes from there. That's going to be quite the undertaking. So we will just keep our sights on Cebu for now, I think. Or even since that's basically knocked out with the level 1 airfield, we could just go for Puerto Princesa over here. Just realised I've been pronouncing that wrong. It's Princesa. With the level 2 airfield there, we could even try and upgrade that to a level 3 port anyway, so that we do have that forward supply base, which isn't just truck, and we have it more in the western area over here. And that, I think, sounds bloody good indeed. Very bloody good indeed. Just having a look around here. I'm wondering if we might want to send some subs around Singapore, Kuala Lumpur and such, because we do appear to have some sort of enemies coming out from here with a level 5 port and airfield. We have seen previously supply ships come up from here. I want to send some subs over here in the future. However, not quite done staring at the map just yet. I do apologise. We do have our invasion or supply interceptors over here. Although we have a Congo there, I wouldn't say that's quite fit enough to secure our backlines. I think we're going to transition this to become our backline support task force rather than simply supply interceptors, although they will carry out that role as well. What we're going to do, I think, is first reinforce that with a tonne. But before we get on that, we are going to send up some supplies, of course, with this group. We needed about roughly 4,000 supplies, didn't we? Ideally. So, do you want to bring any engineering over? Might want to bring a small amount of engineering to help out replenish any planes and such. And we'll do that right now. I just double check that was 4,000 supplies. It was indeed. Excellent. We might want to bolster that to 5,000 for now, just to make sure we're all good there, and that'll take 43 hours to get down to Okinawa, and that's excellent. So we are going to, of course, purchase ourselves a tonne, I think, to bolster the supply interceptors here. So let's go to Japanese heavy cruisers, and the reason for tonne is because we actually do already have one out. That's because, of course, it does come with the massive complement of Jakes, and I think we're also going to go for a Myoko, which we should be able to afford. I just can't afford it. I cannot do maths to save my life. But we'll keep the tonne out there, and then we can send out the supply interceptors to be a little more active with a battleship and a heavy cruiser there. That is excellent. Let's tell that to merge. That should be in range to merge over here. It's not in range to merge with anything. That's absolutely fine. We can bring us out in just a second over here, like so. And I think we will have a look at scouting out this particular battleship. I shall see you in the future. Okay, so our Kates have indeed found that Colorado over here, and that is going to be the goal for this. We've launched Kates from Soryu and the close by Taiyo from the invasion support group, and we're going to do a lovely massive pincer attack with both of these. No need to think about it too much here, I don't think. Just two massive formation attacks onto this Colorado over here. We're going to go full speed over here for now and dive down halfway to begin with. And I think actually we're going to increase our spacing a tad as we approach this particular ship. We're 9.5 kilometers away from that here. How far are we from it with this group? We are just over that, so we might actually want to increase our speed with this group, but slow down a tad with the second group there, just so that we come in a little more concentric there. And let's just zoom in here for now. Yeah, let's just I'll take a slightly wider approach there, so don't need to slow down too much, I don't think, and that should do like that. In fact, yeah, we're going somewhat more direct with that, so we'll speed up with this group here, and I think slow down a tad over here so that we don't overshoot that. Want to come in, of course, both groups at the same time as ever. Look at this lovely ship. That is beefy, absolutely beefy is the word to describe that. What is the torpedo protection on that? 55%, not quite the 85% of the North Carolinas we've been hitting recently, of course. We're going to want to change our approach here. They are turning to manoeuvre against the more northern attack group over here by the looks of things. which will make the approach easier for this group. So let's just go straight in here. Yeah, we can see them there fairly close, actually. Looks like they are focusing their AA on the northern group though, and that is excellent. So they've got some New Orleans here. That's a destroyer, you fool. And where is the second cruiser? It was a Perth. Interesting, very interesting indeed. Let's tell this group to come straight in. I think that's going to be fairly awkward there. But this group I think needs to come in now pretty much. We're going to slow down our speed, tighten up our spacing, and start diving down, I think. Let's start diving to 40 meters, please. Yeah, we need to turn in here. Really need to turn in here. Looks like they're not too sure what they want to do against us here. We're going to tighten our spacing here as well. We form up there and start diving down to a happy altitude there for us, thank you. This group needs to come up, of course, close and go directly for that now. I think really want to tell that to attack now, to be honest. It's looking like a fairly decent lead here. Very nice position. So this group can actually increase its speed on the approach here and try and come in a little closer. Mistime this a tad, but we will at least get one group in with less AA, of course, and that is always the plan when you do a pincer attack like this. You can hear we've already lost a couple Kates, and that unfortunately is going to have to be the case at the moment. Just trying to fiddle around here. I think we'll tell this group to attack from here before we waste any more time. We have dropped with the first group. Not entirely sure about that lead, really. I'd love the Colorados to be going a lot faster than that. We might score a couple hits on the bow there. We have indeed, not as much as I would like. I'm not entirely sure about this lead either, to be honest. But those Kates will be getting out. Let's increase that altitude and speed manually there. That's looking a lot better. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Oh, heard a nice explosion there. Look at the fires. Oh, and there's an extra cheeky torpedo afterwards as well. Very nice strike, and we did largely manage to avoid the torpedo bulge there. We hit the bow quite focused there, didn't we? It's reminding me of flashbacks of that King George V we sunk in a similar way, where we did hit the bow and it started crash diving, as appears to be the case with this Colorado actually. Look at that. Let's take a report on that. How many torpedoes hit? Enough, probably. Probably enough. Look at the state of that. It is going down. Excellent. Oh, and that is a true, lovely, beautiful sight to behold there. They have 3 Colorados in class, don't they? They do indeed. Oh, and that is excellent. Those are some big guns out of the way. Okay, so we did lose a total of 13 Kates from that, and that is rather unlucky because I believe most of them were from the Soryu's task force there, which is rather unlucky. Rather unlucky there. But so not to worry too much though. We can now sort that out if need be with our invasion support group. We're looking very nice on ammunition, and really the only damaged ships are the Nachi very slightly there, and of course the Unyo, which should be fairly safe if we do go into a surface engagement. We can keep that in smoke and retreating if need be. So we are going to, I think, try and come out for that particular task force. It will be quicker than us having just lost a battleship. But not to worry, that can't do anything more to Iwo Jima. But it'd be nice to have a minor surface engagement there, wouldn't it? So get rid of some more very nice ships there indeed. So that's the plan for now. Carry on scouting that out and go for Okinawa. I shall see you with an update in the very near future. Okay, so at the turn of the next day, we were going to launch some zeros. We have launched some zeros out from Soryu, and we were going to launch some from the Unya over here to deal with you can't see it quite over here, but we've spotted a possible merchant convoy over here. Just as we're about to launch that, we have sighted a possible battleship task force once again. That's what's alerted our Jake over here. I'm hoping that's what we're going to find here on the tactical view. It bloody hurries up. No, it is just these merchant ships so far, but at least we can see we have 2 Macaulays over here, and those will be more troop-focused ships there. I wonder if we can then take this zero over here and go over this particular task force and spot this. Yes, we can. Is this another... What is this? Oh, it's a South Dakota. No, it's South Dakota. That's a North Carolina once again. Are they going to lose 2 battleships that quickly? Do we want to send out a similar attack already? We do have an Atlanta. That's not going to be an easy task with an Atlanta and a North Carolina and a county about. We're courting death for our Kates there if we do send them out here. So ideally I'd like to send a submarine for this, but we don't have any about. We'll just have to keep shadowing that, unfortunately, there. But we'll send this particular zero back to the Unyo. We'll keep this Jake about scouting, I think, in that particular pattern. And we'll see if we can spot with these zeros coming off for those Macaulays there, I think. I believe that will just be patrolling that North Carolina, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Might just have to come in for a massive surface engagement here, but I'm not overly... I don't see why I shouldn't be too confident. We do have 2 heavy cruisers and, of course, 2 battleships over here. But the AR do have some really good accuracy. It does have some very good accuracy on its guns. And with the North Carolina there, going to be losing something. So, let's carry on, see what we can get. Okay, so we can see that North Carolina task force is simply patrolling. Might leave that for now. I would love to hit that, but if it didn't have the Atlanta there, we'd certainly be going for it. We are instead going to go for 2 groups of zeros on to this cargo convoy over here. These 2 Macaulays we've seen. So we're just going to bring our zeros over here very quickly and bring them a tad closer. I think we'll try and bring them to the rear over here. Oh, lovely. Like so. That should about do. We're going to group them all into one group, I think. Just make it easy. Just strafe down the enemy if possible. Need to spot them. There we go. We are certainly on their rear. We're going to turn around, make sure we do all group up fairly well there and get a very heavy strafe onto them there. We're going to dive down and zoom ahead to do so. What have we spotted there? Just aircraft. Interesting. Is that right in here? It is this particular scout here. There we go. Lovely stuff. Didn't, of course, take off fire at will, so the zeros have dealt with that fairly easily. And that is very, very nice indeed. We are going to form up once again. And we're going to come back to dealing with this cargo force here. Oh dear. Let's go down. And we shall strafe that down. Okay, so after destroying those cargo ships, it has occurred to me after telling these groups to return to base that we could actually send them with their remaining fuel and such and ammunition to strafe down 1 or 2 of the destroyers at least in this task force, just to make them much less potent, I think. So we'll see if we can do that. I am getting very, very greedy here, but it's you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's go for this down to 13. That is. We'll send them in 2 groups. Shouldn't need any more than that per destroyer. So we go for 2. We should be on their rear, and we're right on top of them. So we're going to increase that altitude and speed to begin with, and start turning rounds to their flank a bit better here. And we'll do that with this group as well. We shall, just do a tight turn if possible round to the flank here. Yeah, there we go. Which destroyers should we go for though? I'm thinking the American ones. We have a Marne over here, and a British of some sort over here. So we go for just the rear 2 of the Marne, and maybe the British over here. They do appear to be the same type over here, and they might be wrong there. No, they are the same type, I believe. No, they're not. This is a Netherlands one. Reading the flags wrong completely there. We'd love to be able to strafe down an Atlanta, actually, but I'm sure it's got far too much armour, and the point of not sending Kates in was to avoid the Atlanta, really, as well, wasn't it? That will have far too much armour, I think, for a strafe there. It'd be nice to take down some of the guns, at least, but that's just asking for too much there. So we'll come back down, and we'll think about taking on these destroyers, shall we? Okay, so we did finally manage to get rid of those 2 destroyers. We did lose a lot of zeros in the process. In fact, the Marne actually went down to being scuttled rather than directly destroyed by us. But we are now in a position to drop our supplies off onto Okinawa over here. Let's unload our cargo and see about that. That's looking very, very nice indeed. Look at the supplies on there. A shame they're about to get diminished instantly. Let's go over. That is excellent. I've miscalculated the engineering a tad there. I should have put some more on there. That's a little bit on the annoying side, really. I think that's because they want to instantly put on some planes and such. That's absolutely fine. We'll just put some more engineering on there if that's the case in a second. How much engineering do we have at Kure? Probably not loads and loads, really. 78. That'll do the job, but it's not quite good enough. Might take the 100 off of Sasebo over here, really. So I think we'll do that with this engineering task force over here. We'll let that build up on Kure, and we'll certainly bring back the invasion supplies over to Kure once again, ready to take up the resupplied stuff in 2 days' time. Just checking, we're sort of scraping the bottom of the barrel here for supplies and such, aren't we? But not to worry. The Allies have finally officially taken Iwo Jima. A few years early historically, but not to worry there. I think we can leave that for now and certainly start focusing more on putting pressure onto the Philippines over here once again. So wait for some supplies to come down, and we can start getting over there fairly soon, because we're burning through them on Del Monte so hard. We're going to need to strip bare Kure from its supplies there. That's not loads and loads at the moment either, but in 2 days' time we'll be getting 3.8 thousand more there, and that is excellent. So let's keep going and see what we can do. We've been mispositioned our supply interceptors quite a bit, haven't we? This is a very alarming sight at face value. 2 possible carriers and a supply convoy. I doubt it. This is a ruse. This is the fog of war telling us how blind we truly are. We're going to go straight in and see if we can get at least one of these with our supply interceptors here. We need to just sit them over here, really, don't we? Just wait. It does say 2 possible ships here, 6 possible ships here, and same over here. They're quite fast, which does suggest that there's not a battleship or something in there so big as that. We will scout that out, actually. We do have planes on Kaohsiung over here, which might actually want to reinforce as well in the future. We've got so many places we need to reinforce with supplies. We're nowhere near getting that 3 times increase, are we? Look at that, 162 out of 300. Total ships needed to be sunk. It's absolutely disgusting there. Just review our own losses. It's still just the Yugamo and the Kamigawa Maru, which is excellent. But I think we will send out some Torus for this. It's tempting to arm them with bombs just to help out, but they don't always hit, really, do they? It's just much more reliable to strafe. We'll send the Torus out for I think the forward supply ships, which we won't be able to intercept with our ships over here. And we'll see what we can do about that, I think. Let's double check. This will help us scout out as well, of course. This is going to turn out to be actually much larger now, isn't it? Let's box up here. What do we have? What do we have? Can we see anything? Here we go. Yep, so just a Patapsco here and a Netherlands ore carrier, and that is excellent. Nothing too major, but as I say, we do need to get our general sinkages up, and it's less supplies for the Allies, of course. We need to start hitting, we need to start pressuring them properly. Once we've secured the Philippines a bit more, I want to start pushing down to scout out the Solomons and Guadalcanal and such. Not necessarily to take them instantly, but we can send some carriers over there for sure, to just scout about and see if we can hit a few things here and there. Because surely they've got some massive task forces over there. Once again, I'm very surprised we haven't seen a true fleet carrier since the first video. That's nice, but also a tad worrying. It makes me wonder where they have gone. We're going to form up here once again to make sure we have slowed down here, and we can just do this all in one go, hopefully. Let's just make sure we don't increase the altitude there. I'll bring it back down to 150. There we go, and we can go straight in on attacking this one. Did get a couple magazine explosions. Patapsco will go down. Excellent, look at the explosions there. That is so good. And the first is going down. Excellent. So let's form up once again here. Let's take a report on that Netherlands. It will take perhaps one more strafing run. That's absolutely fine. I believe it does have that flat cannon on the rear there. So actually approaching from the front with this particular ship is the more ideal approach. But we do want to get some damage onto the rear now. Wondered if we could compress time a tad there. I think the aim of the game today is just the supply game, really, isn't it? It really is the supply game. Look at that, that is going down. Excellent. We have ammunition to spare as well, so we're not going to let these Torus rest, unfortunately. We're going to go straight on over to this particular supply convoy. And this will be just in time to build up some more points to help us, our command points, won't it, for our resupply in a couple of days. There we go, we can see two supply ships over here. Looks like a Cimarron and a C2 perhaps. Let's go straight in. It's going to be a tad more difficult because these will be armed to the teeth as far as supply ships go, with AA guns, and we are smoking already with one particular Toria here. So at least get the Cimarron down. I'm going to slow down here. Slow down a tad more actually, and we can tell these guys to attack from here. Let's take a closer look at this particular ship. It does look like a C2, or I believe a Haskell is the word to use there. There's not loads of points in trying to identify that overly accurately, but it'd be nice to have a better idea, wouldn't it? Let's go to C2. It does appear to be the case, doesn't it? Haskell, yeah, it's more of a C2, isn't it, with the mast and such. That's absolutely fine. How are we looking on this? Hoping, not going to get one though. Was hoping for a magazine explosion, since this is made of cargo magazine explosions. We might just pull up and come out here and come again onto Cimarron here. Let's take another report. Heavy to none, but the fires are extensive. So actually, I think we're going to go down to this particular ship Stop the time compression to make things a tad easier for a second. Turn in. And reduce our speed for the minute. Like to play fast and hard. Not the most ideal approach at the moment. Might want to come from the front of that. And there we go. Let's reduce our speed a tad again. Getting a tad closer and tell them to attack from here. And that would be very, very nice indeed. Well. We have now sighted something certainly major threat outside of Peleliu this time with a 0. We have sighted a New Mexico over here with a bogue, and that is rather nasty indeed. We can see the many supply ships this is guarding. It appears to be 1, 2, is it 3 either side over here? That is disgusting. It really is. That's 6 supply ships in this task force. So we're going to have to deal with it. We're really going to have to deal with it. You know what? Actually, that's quite ripe for a surface engagement. The only true threat is, of course, this New Mexico. The only problem is that in this particular area, where was that? That was very close, actually. I might be going for Guam. That is, let's send that as supplies, very major supplies. Yeah, the only problem is we only have the Nagato that might be able to deal with that. But we do have a couple, well, we have 3 heavy cruisers, so volume of firepower over here should be able to deal with that New Mexico. We won't actively hunt that down with our battleship, so we will use that as a coast guard. We do of course have Akagi and Hiryu over here as well, so really I think the main objective there is to deal with the supply ships, of course, and I think we're going to try and be very sneaky and go for the bogue as well if possible there. So I'd like to launch some Kates to deal with that, and then a lot of zeros I think to deal with the supply ships really. But unfortunately that's going to be a very short video, guys, but we do need to take a break there. That's going to be a massively long episode if we do take that right now, I'm afraid. So that would be the goal for the next video. I do like to tease you, but we are still on the way of getting Okinawa reinforced there. We can see that we do have some planes there, which is why we're a bit low on engineering at the moment, which is not a problem at all. And we will sort that out in the future. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope that has filled the void in your heart, yearning for War on the Sea content, at least for today. It's filled mine. So yeah, I've been the Edified Gamer. Thank you for watching, and I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.